As far as controlling the shade of the hair, we can control the shading of both hair objects through the Material Manager. If I open up the Material Manager, I'll begin by creating a brand new shader. So at the moment, I've got a hair render applied to both hair objects, a separate hair render applied to both objects. I don't need the second hair material object. If I look at who uses it, it's the top of the head hair. I should actually rename. What I'm going to do is assign the top of the head hair to the one hair material. So the one hair material now has the side of head and top of head hair, at which point I can delete this other material. If I double click on the hair renderer, we can see why the hair was so light. It has a lot to do with the tip color. I want the character to have fairly dark hair, so I'm going to take the tip color and I'm going to be using the root color as a starting point. I can drag and drop the root color onto both tip colors and then use the luminance or saturation factor to slightly boost the color. You'll notice that we're getting a lot of highlight in this hair, and that's very easy to fix. If I raise the tip color a little bit more, I'll take the specular color and I'll copy the root color to the specular color and perhaps lighten it up just a little bit. Let's do the same thing here. Let's do a quick refresh. And now that our hair is starting to take shape, we're actually getting more of the correct color now, I'll start taking the root color down so it's a little darker. We don't quite want black hair, but we do want some very dark hair nonetheless. So the specularity is a little bit high still, so we'll take the levels down there. And do a bit of shading variation. I also want the render settings to apply for short hair, which is what my diffuse model is already defining. And this is starting to look a lot better. If we had a bit of a backlight, we should be able to catch some of the hair along the top of the head. Let's go in and add in a point light that casts no specularity. And if I just press enter, I'll take down its overall color. And I'll move that object. It's a little far away there. Let's just move it up a little higher. And this should just start to catch the hair at the top of the head. Just do a quick region here to be sure. Quickly refresh that. Increase the intensity. There we go. So now we're starting to get that variety that we're looking for. Let's have a look at the entire render. And keep in mind that my aliasing is still very low. So if I was to raise the aliasing values and do a refresh, the hair is really going to start to pop. There are other areas that we could use hair on our characters as well, namely the eyelashes and maybe even some facial hair. But overall, I have a sense that the hair on the character's head's looking pretty good, and we can move on from here and finalize the head hair. So to do this, I'm going to get the side hair emitter object and the top hair emitter objects, and I'm going to parent them directly to the head bone. So we'll pick parent there. Oops. There we go. Just takes a couple seconds to parent in. And we'll be able to render that in our reference models. Okay, let's look at adding a little bit more functionality to this character. A little bit more believability by adding in some eyelashes.